We, the people in the house. So you see, the topic is private bankers class. And the private bankers class is being held this Sunday, the 18th, at 5 p.m. The phone number is 407 300 5377. And the private banker's class, is $100. And the forms of payment that I will accept for the $100 is check, cash, money order, 1 gram gold bar or 1 gram gold coin, 3 1 ounce silver bars, or 3 1 ounce silver coins. You can Cash App me. You can also Zelle me the $100 payment. And you can contact 407 300 5377. And we will most definitely get you enrolled into this private bankers class this Sunday. If you can't make it this Sunday, then we can set that private bankers class for you in a one-on-one over the phone. And it still will be at $100. And the forms of payment, I just mentioned, and I'll mention it again before I get off this live. Now, the private bankers class this Sunday will be 2-hour class, and it will start at 5 p.m. And all questions and answers, all questions, will be answered at the end of the class. So there'll be 8 sections held within this 2-hour period. So we're going to be doing segments of 15 minutes for each topic, and it's going to be 8 topics regarding the private bankers class. We're going to touch on, how to start your private bank, things like that, the tools that you're going to need for your private banker, the tools that you're going to need for your private bank. You know, you need to name that private bank, whatever you're going to name it. We show you how to set it up. And in, most states, you can set up a private bank, depending on your state, under $100. Um, Depends on, your bank, the banking system within your state, and the forms of, the fees that they're charging for all of the documentation that you will need to initiate on record your private bank and you as the private banker. So, my people, it's a long journey, but believe what I'm telling you and know that you just taking this class on Sunday is a benefit for you. It puts you in a beneficial owner's you know, building block where you are creating your wealth, and it stays within your family lineage. So, um private banking is one of the most best feasible ways to, create your wealth management. If you want to go on the wealth management side of the bank, then create your own. That's what the forefathers and mothers did. They had their own banks. It Everything starts private. So anything that's outside of you is a foreign jurisdiction, which makes you private and makes you foreign from that jurisdiction, which is making the bank outside of you in another jurisdiction, a commercial bank, and that commercial bank is also foreign to the United States of America. Okay, so when you really, really, really start to, do the studying and get in depth, sometimes, you might have to put down the bottle, put down the alcoholism, put down certain habits that you may have, you know, and, yeah, it's great to have an accountant. It's all great. But sometimes, an accountant can't be your banker. The best banker that you would ever have is yourself, because you are the one that's spending the money. Your accountant is not spending your money unless, he's hired under you to do and conduct trustee business for your bank or trustee business for your trust, so, but you always want under your belt to be the private banker and have your own banking system, because it shows a sense of competency. Most incompetent people know they don't have a bank. They care less of the value of what a bank brings to them. They give more value to a commercial bank and sign over all their wealth to the commercial banks. That's why all the commercial banks are so wealthy, because they're wealthy off the people that open up accounts. So imagine if you have your own bank and now they're putting all your money into your own bank. So, that's the bottom line. But the class is this Sunday. The private bankers class is really going to be off the chain. We're going to be dropping a lot of information that no gurus over the internet, no gurus, nobody's talking about, and they won't talk about it, because if they talk about it, then, game over. Basically, it's going to be game over when everybody starts to open up their own private banks. So, also, we're going to have a section on, state banking. That's, we're only going to do a 15-minute section on that, because state banking is commercial banking, and state banking becomes very costly. You know what I'm saying? So, we do give you the information that you need, that if, you want to, have the state and the private at the same time, then that's up to you. But the private banking is a more inexpensive way to get your feet, well, to get your name in the business of the financial world. Okay. Now, there's international banks, there's international banking, international banks, there's private banking, there's private banks. There is commercial, there's state banks and state banking. So you have three branches of banks and banking. On Sunday, this Sunday at 5 p.m., the private bankers class is being held, and we will be discussing and giving you the information that you need, or the forms that you need, telephone numbers that you need, everything that you need to be successful. Now, if you go to the Facebook United States Private Enterprise Free State, you'll see my certification and my instrument number to my private bank. You know, I've gone that far. You know, um, yes, I have my private bankers. I have the business. I have the license. Everything. Everything, and I will show you all of that in the private banking class this Sunday at 5 p.m. And you can call the phone number 407 305 377 to enroll in the class. Okay. Um, if you can't make it this Sunday, then we can do a one-on-one over the phone for 2 hours and you'll get that information. But we are holding the private bankers class this Sunday at 5 p.m. It starts sharp. So, private banking, you know, goes as far as back as, since people started trading food, started trading rocks, water, anything is a commodity that can be bought, sold, and traded from person to person, business to business, you know, corporation to corporation, individual to individual. So, you know, there's one point in history where, there were nothing but private bankers. There was no such thing as a commercial bank. There were private bankers, and in the saloons, in those old westerns, the saloon is where everything took place, a meeting place, a gathering, where they gambled, they drank, they even had, plays that would go on in the saloon. So, saloons back then in the Wild West, California, Texas, all out west, you know, desert time, they created their own towns and they were self governing. And, there were every culture you could find in these, cowboy towns. And basically, you know, outlaws, they would come in, gunfights. Whoever won those gunfights took over the town, took over whatever the bank was. That's how they did it back then. So now, we fight on paper. It's a paper war. Yeah, you still have physical war too, but now it's more so of if the paper doesn't work, then it gets physical. And in, the commercial world and the private world of banking, you know, you have some of the most rudest business savvy people because, this is dog eat dog, straight up. You have to be a Titanic in this. You have to have, a humongous brain to move your pieces on this board because, he who holds the most gold rules the wealth and prosperity of a nation. Not all nations, but if, a nation that does hold a substantial portion of gold, silver, precious metals, precious minerals, precious metals, then that they eventually will team up with another nation, state, you know, um, like BRICS. You know, if you can't get down with the United Nations, then people branch off and they create their own, their own congresses, their own congressionals. So be it, but that's how it flows, that's how it goes down. The world of banking is a complex world of numbers because finances is everything. Finances come from the land, it comes from the wealth of the land. You and I are the sovereignty of the sovereign land. We're not sovereigns, we're sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? And the land is sovereign. So my people, if you really want to amp your game up, you're going to be in this private banking class this Sunday. $100 is nothing but a drop in the bucket to further your wealth and prosperity. Put another notch on your belt, because coming out of this class, you know, you're going to have the credentials that you need to be successful, you know, and also you will have the certificate as the private banker, and you will also receive the certificate of whatever you're going to name your bank. So those will be given to you, you know, at the end of the class. So, and once you have that, that's just the beginning. That's going to be the assignment over to you just from taking the class that starts the blockchain for you. You'll be in the blockchain just by taking this class. You're going to be entered into the blockchain. I'm going to assign it where you'll be entered into the blockchain as a private banker with your private bank. So that's 2 assignments. So, it's like imperative that you attend this class on Sunday, because I'm going to put you in a position and in a seat of power, because that's what you need right now. And if you take this class, you'll understand it, because you're going to see the whole picture of what's really going on, and how private banking is greater than a trust. Trust is good, but a bank is even better. So my people, the forms of payment that I'll be taking for the private bankers class it's $100. I take credit cards, checks, cash, money order. I also will be accepting 1 gram gold bar, 1 gram gold coin as payment for the class. I will also accept 3 1-ounce silver bars, 3 1-ounce silver coins as payment for the class. So my people, 407-300-5377, enroll in the class now. It will be a beneficial owner benefit for you.